Chapter 8: The Flourishing Legacy. A year had passed since Mariana planted the seed of origin and fully accepted her role as guardian of the Garden of Souls. Time seemed to flow differently in this magical place, where days were measured in healed souls and blooming plants, rather than hours and minutes. The garden, once hidden and mysterious, had become a beacon of hope and healing for people from all over the world. The energy emanating from it had spread beyond its physical boundaries, touching lives in distant places and attracting those seeking peace and renewal. Mariana walked along familiar paths, her bare feet feeling the living earth beneath her. Each step was a communion with the garden, a silent dance between guardian and earth. She greeted visitors who had come seeking healing, their faces lighting up upon seeing the woman many now called the Lady of the Flowers. The garden was now a living tapestry of colors and energies, each plant pulsing with the power of the souls that had found rest there. Flowers of impossible colors and ethereal shapes swayed in a breeze that seemed to whisper ancient secrets. Majestic trees, some as old as time itself, extended their branches towards the sky like silent guardians. "Dr. Velasco," a voice called. Mariana turned to see Lucia, a young botanist who had become her apprentice and right hand. "The new group of healers has arrived for their training." Mariana smiled, feeling a mixture of pride and responsibility. "Thank you, Lucia. I'll be there in a moment." As she headed towards the teaching area, a clearing surrounded by ancient trees where the garden's energy seemed to concentrate, Mariana reflected on how her life had changed. She was no longer just a botanist studying plants, now she was a guide, a teacher, a healer of souls. Each day brought new challenges and discoveries, and Mariana embraced them all with an open heart and a curious mind. The group of apprentices waited anxiously. They were people from diverse backgrounds, doctors, therapists, shamans, all united by the desire to learn the secrets of the garden and help heal the world. Mariana could feel their energy, a mixture of nervousness and excitement that made the plants around them vibrate with anticipation. "Welcome to the Garden of Souls," Mariana began, her voice full of warmth and authority. "You are here because you have felt the garden's call. Each of you has a unique gift, and together, we will learn to use the healing power of plants to help lost souls and heal the wounds of the world." As she guided the group through their first lesson, teaching them to feel the energy of the plants and communicate with the ethereal presences that inhabited the garden, Mariana felt a familiar presence. She turned slightly to see the translucent figure of her uncle Ernesto, smiling with approval before vanishing among the plants. Her heart filled with gratitude for the legacy he had left her and the trust he had placed in her. After the class, Mariana met with Helena, who now ran a clinic on the edge of the garden, combining modern medicine with the healing powers of plants. The transformation of the skeptical doctor into a firm believer in the garden's power was a testament to the change this place could generate in people. "Every day I'm more amazed by what you've accomplished here," Helena said, serving 2 cups of herbal tea from the garden, a special blend Mariana had created to calm and center the mind. Mariana took a sip, savoring the complex flavors that danced on her tongue. "It's a work in progress," she replied humbly. "There's still so much to learn, so many souls to help." Helena nodded, her eyes shining with a mixture of admiration and curiosity. "Have you thought about what you'll do with the UN invitation? They want you to share the garden's knowledge globally." Mariana looked towards the horizon, where the garden's glow merged with the sky in a spectacle of impossible colors. The idea of bringing the wisdom and healing power of the garden to the outside world was both exciting and overwhelming. "I've been meditating on that," she finally said, turning her gaze back to Helena. "I think it's time for the world to know the healing power we have here. But we must do it carefully, respecting the balance and sacredness of this place." "Always so wise," Helena smiled, a note of pride in her voice. "Your uncle would be proud." That night, after the visitors had retreated and the garden sank into the silence of the night, Mariana sat in the center of the garden, in the place where she had planted the seed of origin. She closed her eyes, feeling the energies flow around her like currents of an invisible river. In her mind, she saw visions of the future, similar gardens blooming in different parts of the world, people learning to heal not just bodies but souls, a world where the connection between humanity and nature was restored. She saw cities where skyscrapers coexisted with vertical gardens full of life, hospitals where traditional medicine and spiritual healing worked hand in hand, schools where children learned to communicate with plants and respect all forms of life. She opened her eyes, a new determination shining in them. "It's time," she whispered to the garden, feeling how every leaf and flower vibrated in response. The next morning, Mariana gathered her team, Lucia, Helena, and the most advanced apprentices. "Get ready," she announced, her voice full of excitement and purpose. "We're going to bring the garden's wisdom to the world." As the sun rose, illuminating the lush landscape of the garden, Mariana felt a mixture of excitement and responsibility. Her journey as guardian was just beginning, and with it, a new era of healing and hope for the world. The garden whispered its approval, the plants swaying gently in a breeze that only Mariana could feel. It was the beginning of a new chapter, not just for her, but for all of humanity. A future where the magic of the Garden of Souls would touch every corner of the planet, healing ancient wounds and creating a more connected and compassionate world. Mariana breathed deeply, filling her lungs with air charged with magic and possibilities. She knew the path ahead would not be easy. There would be skeptics who would challenge the reality of the garden, interests that would try to exploit its power, and challenges that would test her resolution and skills as a guardian. But she also knew she wasn't alone. She had the support of her team, the wisdom of the souls she had helped, and the strength of the garden itself flowing through her. Each challenge would be an opportunity to grow, to learn, to expand the limits of the possible. As she took the first steps towards this new future, Mariana felt that all the pieces of her life fit together perfectly. The pain of her past, the loss of her family, her passion for botany, everything had led her to this moment, to this purpose. Her uncle's legacy, the mystery of the garden, and her own journey of self-discovery had intertwined to create something beautiful and transcendental. Mariana knew this was just the beginning of a lifelong adventure, and beyond. With each step she took, the garden bloomed around her, as if celebrating the birth of this new era. And in Mariana's heart, a certainty blossomed with equal strength. The Garden of Souls had found its true guardian, and together, they would transform the world, one soul, one plant, one miracle at a time.